Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Adventure Bastards.
I'll be right back. No, I'm
Fucking
joking.
Johnny. You're not going to do your laundry again while we try to record.
No, that was cooking.
Oh no,
Get it.
not when you left. The time when we did an episode, and you were just in the back, like folding your sheets and stuff.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't like this intro one bit.
Actually, no, I do. Oh, I have. There is some washing in the dryer.
No. Oh, you're not going to like show up right at the end as you did for the Christmas special.
Hey, that was special. I saved the day.
Yeah, so we are. We haven't actually recorded a campaign episode in a long time. But when last we did, you guys had finished the assault on Grey Dragon Island.
Oh, that was quite the adventure.
Yeah, it was. The episodes were full of Metal Gear references, which has dated them very badly.
Yep.
Timeless.
Timeless.
Unlike the game.
Don't start. Yeah. So you guys, with while you've been out in Australia, your new best buddy, best pal, Jackie Brady boy.
Australia?
Sorry. When you're in Shanghai.
Thank you.
When you're in Shanghai, your best friend Jackie Boy told you that their attempt to raise the god of Nyarlathotep involved performing ceremonies at 3 points on the Earth at once.
And a rocket.
Yeah, the rocket was part of one of those ceremonies, but you foiled the operation in Shanghai. But the threat still remains because even weakened, they've still got 2 other points where they're trying to cast this magic spell. So you...
I thought you didn't do voices.
Was that you?
That was actually a very deep cut Silent Hill 1 reference, but never mind.
Wow.
So outdated. That's outdated before it came out.
This is definitely a new year. Is this a new parent, new haircut, new...
There's just a thing towards the end of Silent Hill 1 where the cult's finally revealing their plans, and if we cast a magic spell, we'll get power. And you're like, what?
God damn,
Wait, you
watch out.
You pretend you'd
Speaking of magic spells, where we at?
Speaking
Tome?
Oh shit, I haven't done the research on tome stuff.
Oh my gosh! I've had a whole year.
I've spent all day reading up on Australia, so I haven't actually done the tome research.
What's in Australia?
all that time you guys spent
Kangaroos, fire.
placing me, you could have spent researching on toads.
I could have, if you'd have mentioned to me, Carlo, any point before this moment, like within a few hours ago, I would have. If you'd have mentioned it yesterday or earlier today, I would have looked into it.
You know who you sound like?
What?
Johnny.
What?
Ooh.
Captain Excuse Boy.
Hey, leave Johnny alone.
Well, you didn't confirm the tome with me on Facebook Messenger, only on Skype.
Hey, that wasn't my fault.
But seriously, where's my tome at?
Well, next time we do the Australia episode, we'll sort your tomes out. But I don't have the research handy at the moment. Anyway, so Jackie Boy reckoned the next place to stop was somewhere in Australia, where they know one of the where another cult operation is carrying out. So you guys take a boat from Shanghai to Australia, and thankfully this time the boat doesn't get its own adventure. You guys actually manage to make it across the sea without murdering anybody or anybody betraying you. For the most part, it's a relatively uneventful trip, although obviously Frank's headset falls apart during the trip.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Can't hear him.
Sides.
What we
The
say?
mic was covering.
Just muted now. You just muted now. Just messing with you.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Anyway, so the only thing unusual that happens on your trip to Australia
Is Frank has horrible flashbacks of all those people he killed on the previous boat.
you're not far wrong.
Hey.
Frank starts having weird nightmares that he hasn't had in a long time.
Palpitations.
Yeah, like you see strange visions of places you don't recognize, like weird
Sheffield.
Yeah, it's like Sheffield basically. You see Sheffield, you see the Meta Hall, you see horrible shopping centres.
Oh god. I had to drive around their one-way system.
I lived there for 7 years. I'm still scarred.
Nightmare.
So yeah, you start having nightmares of Sheffield, and you find yourself on the boat trip, while you're having these nightmares, are sort of you had these many years ago, but you haven't had them in a long time. But they're sort of coming back, and you find yourself very wary of mirrors or anything that might reflect your face. Yeah, you're always very surprised when you see your own face in the mirror, basically.
Oh,
He's a
he's good
vampire.
looking.
You're like, hey.
but more surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shocked. Like you're
I'm
saying,
more-
like,
I'm
whoa,
sad.
Jesus Christ, that guy's good looking. Like that kind of thing.
Good recovery.
So, on your trip, you sort of on the way, Jack Brady tells you that he's not sure the precise location of where the shit that's going down in Australia is, but the lead he does have is that Hofang Shipping Company was sending and received like a lot of the equipment that was being sent out to Grey Dragon Island came from a place from Randall Shipping Company somewhere in Port Hedland in Australia. So that's where you guys are heading, because that's the one lead you've got. The other lead you've got is that if you recall, way back in the New York part of this trip, you visited Professor Cowles, I think it was. Anyone remember him?
Is that
Yes,
the one
that
with
was
the
it.
hot daughter?
Yes, that's the one with the hot daughter.
Oh, Johnny, good memory.
Yeah, because I actually watched
That's
this.
a random guess because that's the only doctor that I can remember that we visited.
Yeah, I actually brought this up in the pre-call discussion while you weren't here. That that's you had a discussion with this doctor who was had research which related to Australia, and it was all going well until
Dr. Askew fucked it up.
yeah until
What was it? Was it Vincent or
it was
Desmond?
it was Desmond. It was
So we like this doctor because we got something in common.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What's
We
that, you don't
hate
like
Desmond.
But yeah, he told you about, if you recall, let me just find the notes, but it was about the Bat Cult. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
I do.
That
was a bat.
Was that supposed to be a bat?
Yeah.
cult. No, there was I can't remember the cult's called, but the leader of the cult was the father of all bats.
Batman.
Father
The
of all
bat.
bats.
Batman.
And yes, you were making Batman jokes. Desmond was back in the.
Really? Oh, I've never changed.
Oh,
You were like, so this father of all bats, was he a Batman then?
Oh, that feels ages ago.
It's a lifetime ago.
So anyway, so this guy was researching the bat cults because he was looking for he was essentially researching the history of ancient cults in the region. From his perspective, he was mainly researching it from a historical perspective because the bat cult had mostly disappeared. However, over the previous year, an expedition from a friend of his in Australia, and Arthur McWare, had been uncovered what he felt was something significant, but he'd been attacked by local Aborigines that had identified themselves as being part of he'd identified as being part of the bat cult that was supposed to have been wiped out.
motherfucking back home.
Anyway, so
Were he's attacked by bat men.
Tread carefully, Johnny.
Scary.
You might find more than you bargained for. Batman, Batman.
They're not wearing hockey pads.
Anyway, so the actual name of the cult I found, by the way, is Cult of the Sandbat.
I don't remember that name.
Either.
But I think I don't think it was. I think I should have spelled that out at the time, but I didn't get the name correct.
Yeah.
But the cult's called the Cult of the Sandbat. Anyway, and the only additional information, because we're gonna pick up as you arrive in Port Hedland, is that your good friend Trent, Mr. Wood, who is looking out.
That good old chestnut.
Has been looking out for you guys and trying to make arrangements as he's been following your trips around the world. He spoke with Cowles for you, who he spoke via telegram. Cowles is actually in Sydney at the moment, which is on the other side of Australia. But Cowles has said that he has a friend who's living in Port Hedland who can probably give you room and board and may be able to give you some more information about the Arthur McWare's expedition that may give you some information about where that research came from in Australia.
Australia.
So you've got a couple of leads there. You've got the Randolph Shipping Company, and you've got Mr. Robert McKenzie. So you guys arrive. I've been really bad at keeping track of the months, but we're getting towards I think we're third quarter of the year, I guess, at this point. But obviously it's Australia, so the weather is just desert and hot, very, 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 very hot.
The big spiders.
What?
Have we seen any big spiders?
I mean, you've just got off the boat at the port. There wasn't any big
Giant
spiders.
spider.
There's none waiting for you, really. In fact, if anything, the port's a pretty small port. Like, it's not very. It's not like a massive city or anything. It's a pretty small town, village-esque kind of settlement. Things are a bit like this. Customs is essentially just a guy just asking you. You're not carrying anything dodgy. There's no. It's all very. It's all a bit weak and ad hoc. There's no one really to meet you. It's just you just arrive off the boat into the sort of blazing sun in a small town of Port Hedland, and there you go. That's you guys.
Beautiful.
Oh, past the sun cream.
So the two leads were the dock, and what was the lead with the dude?
So Randolph Shipping Company is the was the one of your leads, which was links back to the parts being shipped to Grey Dragon Island. And the other lead is that the person who gave you so the actual full lead there I didn't explain is when you originally found Jackson Elias's body, he had a flyer for one of Carl's lectures. And then when you went and spoke to Carl's, he gave you information about this the cult of the Sandbat, and he said that some of the information he got about the recent activities from them came from an Arthur McWare, who's been doing expeditions in Australia, and a friend of his, Robert McKenzie, lives here in Port Hedland, and said he might be able to get you a bit more information and also give you somewhere to stay while you're here.
Okay. I guess we'll go see him first.
I approve.
Okay, so yeah, you take the because essentially you've arrived at the dock and you've got off the ship and you've been given a telegram from Trent that tells you about Robert McKenzie. So that's how you have that information, and it includes a street address for here in Port Hedland. There's not really taxis or anything because it's barely streets as such. It's kind of a bit. It's all kind of a bit.
Ride on giant spiders to get to your destination.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. The saddles on giant spiders, obviously.
$10 dues a pop.
$1 do.
What?
But it's an emergency.
What's that up?
Same thing as $1 dues.
So one clarification about weapons. Nobody searched you or has taken anything off you, but Australia's gun laws are essentially under British gun laws. So you shouldn't be discharging them. Like nobody's. It's not like England where if you're found walking around with them, they're going to grab you and arrest you because it's not like that developed yet. It's certainly not the.
We're not discharge them. I'll discharge my gun if I want to discharge it.
Just do it quietly in your room or in the bathroom or something.
Okay.
Maybe in a sock.
My advice basically is that if you get caught firing weapons, nobody's going to be like, oh well, it's just gunfire. They're going to be like, what the fuck are you doing with a gun? But the point is, you can probably carry them and conceal them.
Sweet. I don't have a gun on me anymore.
It's been discharged elsewhere.
I'm like John Wayne, fucking.
Did he carry 3 guns?
Got like 2 revolvers and a shotgun.
Fucking hell, packing.
I know. I don't think I've got
I'm
much.
prepared.
I do have my. Oh, I've got 2 guns. Ooh, I didn't know I had one of them.
So Brady says to you guys, why don't you guys go find Mackenzie's place and get settled in. I'm going to go ask around the town and see if I can find any useful information about what's going on around here. See if we can get any leads. He says maybe meet up in a bit for. He says meet up with me once you finish with Mackenzie at the bar, and then we'll head over to the shipping company and see what we can get from them.
I put my hand out to shake his hand.
He sort of reaches over and shakes your hand.
Sort of.
Wait, who's with us, sir? I missed the name. Oh, Brady's
Touch
with
his
us.
hand.
Brady.
Yeah, okay, let's go back to my handshake. Then I put my other hand on his hand.
Can you do your arms on the other side, by the way?
What, that way?
Yeah.
And I go, stay safe.
He says,
How tall is Frank? Giant man.
Brady's like,
Stay safe. Flip down on him, push him over. Nerd.
So what's Brady's first name again?
Jack.
Jack. Right, sorry.
I thought it was Tom. But
Tom Brady, that's
an
someone
actor,
else.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're going off, and we're going to meet. I keep forgetting names.
The doctor.
No, not Doctor.
No,
Robert
okay.
McKenzie. You're gonna go see Rob.
Rob.
Rob McKenzie. In the bar, and then get settled in his place.
Wait, what?
Okay.
So Brady's going to go to ask around town and says he'll meet you in the bar. It's pretty obvious in this small town where the bar is because it's the rowdiest place on the streets.
Can you hear gunfire?
Not yet.
Spiders running around.
Well,
I'm worried about Brady. I'm just saying I've got a bad feeling about Brady. I feel like he's not going to come back.
Oh, you mean? Oh, right. A bad.
Yeah. No, I think he's a trustworthy guy.
Gonna go out in a blaze of fire. Run! Ah!
So we're in the bar.
No.
I thought we were going to meet in the bar.
Going? We're not there yet.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Brady says, "Why didn't you guys go check in with McKenzie, get settled in? If you're staying there, he'll
meet
go.
in the bar.
He meet him in the bar. He's going to ask around town to see if he can get any leads about anything unusual going on."
I'm on board.
I don't like the way he asked in the past tense.
Well, I mean, obviously Brady's dead already, but but he's been dead all along.
Oh, damn, I quit.
Shit, it's spoopy.
Right, okay. Let's go drop our shit in his house.
So you meet. So you head over to Mackenzie's house. Knock on the door, and you're met by an old gentleman, long beard, kind of smartly dressed for this kind of like weather. But he seems quite, seems I don't know. He's not super pleasant, but he's not rough. He's just a serious man. He's like, good day, gentlemen. I assume you're friends of Cowell's.
You have assumed
Yes.
correctly.
Yes, we are. We have many bags, sir.
He says, "Well, I'm sure strong gentlemen such as yourself are capable of carrying them up to the rooms yourself."
What's the sleeping arrangement?
Assumed correctly, sir.
Frank is very thin, I think. I would imagine, considering his strength
And
and,
he's a little bit
constitution and size. Actually, his size is average, so yeah, I'm all right.
What's the sleeping arrangement, good sir?
He says, "I've got a couple of rooms, so you're gonna have to bunk up a little bit."
Oh, they're not doubles, are they?
Yes.
Yes.
It's only because you asked, he said that.
Yeah.
He says, "Well, I mean,"
Don't
he
do
says,
it.
"if they're not, if you wish, you could probably find and pay for your own accommodation." But I thought,
Calm down.
Chill out.
Jeez, I know. I'm only asking.
Wow, yeah. Doesn't even know us and he's well snippy.
I know. Just asking, you know.
When I get
Mexican-
back, when I write my review on TripAdvisor, it's not going to be very good.
1 star.
Right, let's go in. Can we come in? Can we have a drink? I'm thirsty. It's really hot out here.
He says, "Yes, please do come in. I'm sure we have much to discuss."
I haven't slept much.
He says, "Do you want to go for a nap?"
No, I just want to get out of the heat.
You want sympathy, Mackenzie.
He rubs you on the head and says, "There."
Oh, he's really nice now.
He's not. He's having a dig at my bald head.
It's Frank.
Frank's not bald.
Yeah,
Either that or he's
Frank's
just
not bald.
copping a feel.
I'm sure Frank has long, luscious hair.
He's like Tarzan, like.
It's like that other guy that we don't know about. It's too meta talking about now.
Like that other guy.
He says, "So what brings you to Australia then?"
Never been.
Spiders.
Bat.
Bats.
Bat. The Dark Bat Clan. What was it
The
called?
sand
Bats
bat.
up the sand.
Bat.
Sandbats, has it?
Sand bat.
He says, "Yes, the sand, the cult of the sand bat. That was always certainly Cowell's hobby horse, I suppose. Not really what me and
Do you have a drink of water? It's like really hot.
he says,
You're not going to offer us any water.
This is fine if you want water." He says,
I'd rather a nice can of Foster's, please, mate.
so he goes to his kitchen and brings back water for Jimmy, Frank, and Ross, and he brings a beer back for Vincent.
Boom.
Thank
I
you.
shotgun it. When in Rome.
Can he roll to puke or not?
Roll a d20.
one?
See how
On the
many days
bananas.
to drink.
Thank you.
But yeah, you kind of sat in his living room. It's kind of like it's pretty well furnished. Considering this is kind of a small rundown town, the building itself is quite well kept. Everything seems pretty clean and kind of like it's like this guy's obviously not short of cash, is what I guess I would say. He's keeping the place in a pretty good order. There's there's sort of cheap makeshift fans trying to cool the place down a bit for the temperature, but obviously it's still a bit warm compared to what you're used to.
Just
Your place looks nice. You must make a pretty penny.
It says, well, the expeditions me and Arthur used to do always were relatively lucrative. I mean, a lot of stuff we gave to museums, but we certainly looked after ourselves.
Damn,
Oh.
we're in the wrong line of work.
He says, what line of work are you in anyway?
Well, actually, I'm a professor. I don't really know how I ended up here. But you know, where life takes you, take holiday, even if it. How long have we been doing this for now?
Quite a while.
Yeah.
We've been out at sea and twice. Different
Well,
countries.
I kind of have this thirst for revenge for killing someone called Desmond that kind of took my focus off of my studies.
And I am a private investigator.
Says, well, pleasure to meet you all. Cal spoke highly of you. Said you were very interested in his work, and seemed like he says apart from one of your friends who he said who doesn't seem to be with you now, who said it was a bit rude, but
What's that?
Who?
Oh, Desmond.
Desmond, yeah.
Oh, okay.
How do you know it's my
Desmond
friend?
was never rude.
How do you know he's my friend? Hey?
Well, because
You know.
Cal said he was your friend.
He's no friend of ours.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't rude, or so I'm told. He wasn't rude.
Vincent, shut your mouth. You don't know this.
We
guy.
saw him shit
don't.
himself.
Oh, that's not rude on him. He put a mask on.
Vincent doesn't know any of this.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
No, the only good you have at Desmond is when he tried to kill us.
Yeah, that was rude.
I
Yeah,
hear
that
he's very handsome.
He should.
Jesus.
He's
You're
got
the
to
gay one.
he's got to stop wearing that burger-shaped gag though. I don't know what he's got. With
What?
that.
No, don't. No gifs, no images. Stop.
Are you editing that out?
No, just I'm ignoring it.
I don't know what Johnny's talking about.
We did.
Jimmy says a lot of weird things.
Okay,
I just don't
They
remember
haven't
most things.
seen
So I just
sorry, what was the name? What was your name again?
Robert
McKenzie.
Robert McKenzie.
Robert McKenzie. Sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to get a full name before I call you Bob or something and get on your bad side.
Yes, I'd prefer Robert if you don't mind.
Yeah, I guessed. You know. So where's the bar?
Yes, it's not. If you're just looking for alcohol, you can find a bar on the main street.
Okay, cool.
Well, you're not going to tell us about the sand baths?
yeah, the sandbags.
Oh, are you interested?
Yes.
Nah, not really. Yeah, yes.
We just assume you would tell us.
Well, I've tried.
Tell
let's
us
hear
more.
it.
Tell us
Come on.
more, Robert.
Give us some more info, Rob.
He's-
I mean Robert.
He says, well, I mean, the cult of the sandbats was never particularly my interest or Arthur's. Cowles was always very interested in studying them. For the most part, they were like him. We believed they were essentially a historic relic. And I mean, obviously, not to just to sort of go against any of Cal's research, because it's always fascinating the sort of insights he brought into their practices. However, for the most part, we'd always assumed that they'd been long since gone, and it wasn't until Arthur's trip out into the desert that we found any indication that they might have returned.
Huh.
Any questions,
Any more you can
anyone?
tell us? Any more?
No.
Was that it?
I guess
Well,
we
I mean,
should
if you have any questions,
How many are there of the Batmen? Like, is it like a large?
well, no,
I
it's,
don't
it,
know.
so he sort of says, oh well, to reiterate, I myself believe they were mostly gone, and it was only after my former partner Arthur McWare came back from his trip that we felt like that he strongly believed that the people who attacked him were related to the cult. At least they as far as he said, they wore the symbology of the cult of the sandbat.
Sorry, where was the attack?
What are you laughing at?
What's going on?
I'm just laughing at Baron.
Why?
Yeah, I'm not laughing.
Is that what
at
you
that.
laughing at as well? Yeah, yeah.
His
What?
little slip, almost little.
The black sand.
Well, I don't have the pages open all the time because it's a lot of different pages.
Yeah.
It's okay.
The Cult of the Sandbat. He says, well, I used to. I mean, my expedition days are kind of coming to a close. I spent a long time working with Arthur McWare. We used to run a lot of trips. He was his last expedition was he went out into follow some leads and old research he'd followed. He believed he'd found a lost city buried beneath the desert. He was very adamant that what he found was of significant interest, and the only reason he didn't find more is that the sort of attacks that started happening while he was out there and led him to come back. Were it not for the fact, shit, I've got to find out what happened to him.
Getting forgetful in your age, mate.
Yeah,
Getting your diary out.
He planned to
How
return
old
to the
are you?
site with a survey expedition, but sadly he died of influenza a few years ago.
What kind of evidence did he find that indicated there was a hidden city? Like, what could give him that idea?
I believe you've actually seen some of it already, although you may not recall. Mr. Cowles took copies of some of the materials. We had a set of photo plates. Cowles took so he found architectural statues and things. There was some photos that Cowles showed you back in New York, I believe. He said there used to be a lot more material, a lot of notes, a lot of photographs of the things they'd found, but sadly much of it has been stolen. We had a year or so ago another American came by to visit us, Mr. Houston, who seemed very interested in Arthur's finds, and I let him look through them all, and left him with most of the material. And when I went back into the room, he'd gone, and all the materials had been stolen. The only things I have left in terms of evidence are the photo plates that Cowles has and McWare's diary, Arthur's diary.
Could we see this?
Yeah.
Says yes. I mean, sure. Obviously, you'll understand if I don't leave you alone in the room with it.
We're not thieves.
He says Mr. Houston claimed not to be a thief either. No, not to disparage your character, but just to say I've grown a little suspicious.
Don't like Americans, eh?
You're not American.
I'm British. We're one of the same. Pommies. Stupid pommie. I'd love to see the diary.
He says, sure. So he pulls out the diary, and do you want me to read it to you guys?
Yeah.
There are 5 relevant entries about this expedition, so I'll just read this to you.
Yeah.
March 7th, Jock Kubaraga says that the ABOs are following us. Most unusual if true. Primitives have every reason to fear guns, and our bushranger prediction for using them. Our bushranger predilection for using them. In the past, I've always known them to head the other way as soon as they sight the white men. March 21st. We're about equally distant from Joanna Spring and Separation Well, east of an awful line of dry lakes. The heat is terrible. Our hopes are low. There is nothing here, certainly not quartz reefs. L's notations are in systematic error. He is a complete duffer as a surveyor. Today we sighted several enormous birds flying lazily far above us. How did they get here, and where can they be going? March 22nd. At about noon today, we found Jack partly buried in a gully. His body was scoured and covered with hundreds of small punctures, as though somebody had sandblasted him. We buried him, of course. I shall miss his counsel, and he was an excellent hand with the camels. March 23rd. What? Ask you.
I'm just
laughing at the
him.
camels.
I'm just laughing at him. Nothing else.
I'm not laughing at anybody.
Do I have to come back there? March 23rd. We have discovered what appears to be remnants of an ancient city, rising from the shifting sands. I believe I have secured several good photographs of this amazing find, though the heat has ruined all but 6 of my photographic plates. By the pitting of the stone, the blocks and the pillars appear to be more than 10,000 years old. This is incredible. Finally, the last entry, March 24th. 4 camels killed in an attack last night. I saw at least 2 ABOs and more must have been skulking out there. I'm sure I hit one. That ends this trip. We'll have to head back to Kunkudgery and report this incident. Sorry?
No, it doesn't carry on.
More than men were out there last night. I saw shapes much bigger than men during the attack. My evidence is the body of old Sam the camel, punctured and scraped is the best way I can describe the remains, just like poor Jack. Since the attack lasted only a couple of minutes, it's hard for me to believe that anything human could have done so much damage so quickly. But then what was it?
So this is the
Batman.
this is what you described when you said that the bat had attacked, wasn't it, earlier on?
It's mainly because the Aborigines he was talking about attacking. When he came back, he said that he saw them wearing a symbol reminiscent of this. Which, according to Cal's research, was the ancient symbol of the cult of the Sandbat. He says it was very strange, just because it was a cult that has been gone for a long time, and although the symbols match and the behavior might have matched, it's just we're not sure where this has come from. He says, thankfully. Arthur himself survived that expedition, and had he not died of influenza, I would have joined him as we'd have gone to search out the city and trying to confirm it. As it stands, I don't really have the heart for deep trips into the desert these days. I'm getting a bit old for it now.
Not one last one.
I says
With us?
I'd prefer not to at this point, and like whatever he found out there, although it sounds it sounds like it could be a great find. It also sounds particularly dangerous.
How old are you?
Yeah.
This is about 50, but about 50.
It's not that old at all.
Thank you very much.
50. You don't look a day over 40.
He says, "So what are your plans?"
Don't know yet.
Yeah,
Go
well,
to the
wait.
pub and meet Jack Brady firstly, then
What is it that we're looking for again? A convergence site or something, was it?
You're looking for one of the three sites where they have these seals where they that you remember you blocked one of them before.
Yeah, do we have a name for this, or
I mean, not there's probably, I think they were just called like seals or something like that.
what is it we're
was
trying
there
to
not some
stop?
original-
The end
What
of
was the original
world?
text?
Yeah, the last Nyarlathotep.
Yeah, you're trying to stop the rise of Nyarlathotep.
Right, that's what I'm going to say. I'm trying to stop the rise of the Arthur.
Because I'm not familiar with Nyarlathotep. I mean, I'm not close on a lot of the cult stuff. Like, obviously, as I said, even like obviously, I've had to be relatively informed about the operations with the Sandbat stuff, just because of recent incidents. A cult was never really my field. I was always more of an archaeologist.
Have you seen any rockets around?
He doesn't know what a rocket is.
You don't know what a rocket is.
We don't know what rockets are either.
We've seen one.
Oh, I've
Yeah,
lost
but we
power.
don't know what a rocket is.
Oh. Well, I know what a rocket is.
Well, Johnny does, but Jimmy doesn't.
Jimmy can't remember.
I was like, we think we were in Hong Kong. Was it Hong Kong? Shanghai.
Shanghai.
Yeah, Shanghai.
And we came across there's apparently one of 3 sites where that they're using to summon. Is it summon? Is that the correct word?
Yeah.
Sure.
The Nyarlathotep, and we managed to disable that one. We'd like to believe that there's another one here in Australia.
It says
I'm not sure if this cult that you're talking of is related to it or not, or if they may be using it as a guise for it. But there could be a connection, but we're not sure.
He says, well, this is all a little bit over my head. He says,
Always is.
what do you mean by that?
No one ever.
He says,
But as an archaeologist, you can understand that there are some artifacts of great power out there.
he says, I mean, perhaps, and if your investigations are are a crossover with the work of Arthur, then the best I could give you is the coordinates of the place where he believed the ancient city was. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but it's the best I can give you.
I'll take that.
So
Is
it's
it
a lead.
Is it a different location from the attack?
That's where they were attacked.
So okay, it's the same location. Yeah.
It says the coordinates are. Actually, I don't know how you read them world coordinates.
Oh, it's easy.
22 degrees, 3 feet 14 inches south,
Yeah.
and then 125 degrees 0 feet 39 inches east.
You're telling us this, but I'm just gonna say in game terms, like, take us to that spot, like.
I'm not writing this down
I'm
either.
not...
Well,
I
he says
tried to, but
he says-
Excel turned it into a date.
He says anyway.
I'm
So,
not saying right now, but I'm saying for future reference, I'm not going to reiterate them coordinates.
thing he says to you, he says, obviously myself, I couldn't, this is, those coordinates are deep into the desert, many days trek. He says, I mean, I don't particularly have any interest in traveling out there myself. He says, but if you could take if you take the train to, Concudgery, I can probably get a help arrange transport and vehicles for you guys and supplies that you can use to head out there.
Beauty.
See that that port that was our other lead? Where is that from here?
So anyway, sorry, yeah, actually I cleared on the map, but not this going to play for the
Okay.
show. But so you guys are right now are here.
Wait.
Hold on a sec, this isn't pinging. Why isn't that pinging?
Ping.
There we go. You're there. No,
Right.
everyone stop pinging.
We're everywhere.
So there were 3 pings there.
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
all pinged
So
at
we're-
the same time.
Dampier, Broom.
Yeah, you're kind of where the roads converge there.
Right.
That's where Port.
Northwest
That's
of
where.
Australia.
That's Port.
Right.
That's Port
Northwest
Headland, where you
coast
are
of
right now.
Australia.
Right.
Concudgery is down here, so it's like you follow the roads down.
Mm-hmm.
You follow the railroad down, and then out deep into the desert. The coordinates lead about here.
So we're at the
Whoa.
port that we were to investigate.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be quicker to
So
go
the-
towards
the-
like here and then go south?
I
no,
mean,
like,
I mean,
before we
at
even- before we
the
think
time,
about
there's
that, we
nothing there.
Before we think about that, we should investigate like where the items are coming in from.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What I forget the
If
names.
they're a factor or requirement for the summonings, then
Well, it'll
they're...
definitely be related. If it's related to this, is different. But
Yeah,
well, it was
but
related to the
definitely
last
to what it
seal,
was
wasn't it?
before. Yeah.
But yeah, the guy's just
So
saying to
if
you,
they're
like,
going
if when you're ready to, he can. If you, I mean, because it's going to take like a day or so for you to travel by train to country anyway. But there isn't kind of facilities in Port Headland for you to make a trip out into the desert, but you can arrange for them for you in country. So.
Okay.
I'm pleased we're not going to Tasmania. That's
Why?
The devil.
Oh, aren't we?
Okay.
Cold frozen.
Oh yeah.
Howdy.
Have I been frozen for ages?
I guess so. Yeah. No, you seem fine now.
I dropped out.
Oh,
I dropped
that was
out
great.
briefly.
I've just noticed this map of Australia has Newcastle on it. Woo, Newcastle.
Where?
That's where we live, everyone.
Bottom
Don't
right.
come and
Just
find
about
us,
Sydney.
kill us, and take our skin, etc.
What?
I'm sure we've got enough fans to have a crazy one by now.
What, you think they're going to come to Newcastle and find us?
Yeah, man, skin is like a very desirable thing to crazy people.
Me and Carla live in Tynemouth. I've narrowed it down for you.
They're gonna sandblast you too.
Askew lives in Durham.
Don't. No, I do. Triple bluff.
Don't bluff them. Oh, that's exactly where I live.
Johnny's in London, so you'll be able to easily find him.
Yeah.
Here in Scotland.
Yeah.